That was the thought that kept popping up in my head as I was pursuing this other career path. I kept feeling, I think God's calling me to be a priest. Yeah, I think there was some anxiety about admitting that, I was thinking about priesthood, but I think the main thing was, that I had my own plans, I had my own desires. I come from a family of police officers, so, that was something that I wanted to do. I was very attracted to law enforcement, and I wanted to have a family. Coming from a big Catholic family, I thought that was something that I wanted for myself. And so I just, I wasn't ready to admit that this was entering into my mind. I'm from Davison, Michigan, which is a suburb of Flint, Michigan. The Augustinians had a parish there, St. Matthew's, so I first encountered them there. It was a community of 4 friars initially, and so I got to know them through, just them being present to the community.
I met the Augustinians when I was a kid in my home parish, but it really wasn't until I went to college and I started doing my bachelor's degree, and in the midst of that, I started having a calling that I had when I was a kid, again, to the priesthood. My campus minister from my high school said, it's okay to discern, but make sure that you discern all ways of life, both the priesthood and religious life. Every time that Father Tom asked me to come to different events and meet different Augustinians, every single time felt like I was with family. They were real people, and so that's really what drew me towards the Augustinian way of life to begin. And then when I started going through formation and serious discernment through formation, more and more that family aspect, that restlessness that the Augustinians both are and preach really came through and really drew me closer and closer to knowing that this was the right decision. But after discernment, I realized that the diocesan life wasn't for me. Most of the time, diocesan priests live alone. I knew I needed to be in community with others.
All of us know that the Catholic faith, that faith in general is not a journey that we live in isolation. No one really encounters Christ in a vacuum. I think it's always done in community. For me, that was something that was so important, a community life of brothers searching for God together. I recognize the draw for others to diocesan life, but I needed community myself. And I've always felt that in community, my brothers have always pushed me to be a better man, a better Catholic, a better Augustinian. I think that was really what attracted me the most about the Augustinians, was that communal search for God, founded upon, the spirituality of St. Augustine.
The only time that we prostrate usually that is required in liturgy is at an ordination and on Good Friday. And Good Friday is the memorial of Jesus dying on the cross for us, and we prostrate in humility of that action. And I feel part of that is why we prostrate during the solemn vows and the ordination. Is it's a sign of humility. Not only humility, but it's dying to yourself and rising into what God has called you to be.
I was starting to feel like this career path that I had chosen wasn't quite as fulfilling as I had hoped. And then these thoughts of priesthood kept entering my mind. It eventually came to a point where I felt that I couldn't ignore it anymore. And that sort of all culminated around this time when Tom McCarthy came to our parish for a mission. Father Tom, who is our director of vocations, and the pastor, Father Fred Taggart, told Tom to come speak to me because Fred thought I had a vocation. And that began, my whole journey into the Augustinians. He said, have you ever thought about becoming a priest? And although I did want to say, no, I haven't, before I could even sort of think, it was coming out of my mouth. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot lately. After the ordination, my parents came up to me for the first blessing, and it was truly a moment of grace for me. It was just such an incredible moment to be able to give back to them after they've given so much to me.
Our calling to this life is not about us, it's about God working in the world.